I need to go. I'll get out of here. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good, very good.
Just gonna wait a couple more minutes to see if more people are gonna join.
You got it.
Okay, I don't see anyone joining, so I will start. All right, let me share my screen.
Sure.
Okay, so you know how to get to Dotloop? Do you log in from dotloop.com or do you go from like MyKW?
I actually go through Dotloop.
Okay, so do I. So that'll be easier. So we'll just start in Dotloop. I'll do a test loop. So we're gonna go to, all right, it's hard because I'm recording. Okay, so we're gonna do add loop. I'll do 123 Main Street, Fort Lee, New Jersey, 7024. I'll click continue. Loop template. So we have a couple to choose from. You can do a listing loop, a buyer loop, a tenant loop, referral or non-transaction. So I'll do a listing loop first. I'll press continue, and then you can upload a photo. So if you're listing something and you have the photos, you can add it just to make it more, I guess, presentable, like on your home screen. So we'll just do done. And then this is what the loop looks like. So I'll click on it. Okay. So up top here, it says 123 Main Street, and then listing for sale. The loop status, I'm going to do pre-listing because we're doing the paperwork. Then you can change it to active once it's on the market and then change them there.
Okay.
So then there's different folders. The MCA use only. So Patrick, like when you close on a property, he'll put like the closing, like the check, the copy of the check in here and all of his stuff. So don't add anything in there. So we'll do listing seller documents only. We're going to add a document. We're going to click templates. So templates this is like our filing cabinet with all the documents. So we have Hudson County MLS, New Jersey MLS, Garden State MLS, documents. We have buyer's packet, tenant lease packet, miscellaneous transaction forms. So you can find anything in here.
Yeah, it looks like everything there.
And then like the COVID waivers, like this is important. They're in here. So we'll do New Jersey MLS listing paperwork. So listing residential. And these are all the documents. So you have to click on each one to add them. So you either could do select all, but all might not apply. Like sometimes for a listing, you won't need a lead paint. So you would do like no lead paint form. So I'm just going to select which ones that apply.
What is the sight unseen addendum? Is that like for like an investor just buying a property or something, or?
I do not know. Let me click on it. I'm just going to select all and then we'll go through them. So sight unseen. I'm not too familiar with this document. This would be more for like Edward, the broker. He would answer it in connection with the prospective purchase. So this is if you, I guess if you're buying something and your client did not see the property, so
Gotcha.
they're pretty much buying it as is. So you're signing off that they have not physically entered the property or walked through in person.
Okay.
Alrighty. So a lot of these are required, which means that they have to be filled out. Our broker has to sign off on the listing agreement in order for you to list it on any MLS. So I'll show you how we submit it. So then it goes to like the broker.
Okay.
What else don't we need? New construction addendum. We don't need that. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to add the coronavirus, the COVID waiver. So COVID waiver, it would be seller, buyer, universal. I'll add that in. Okay. So before even filling out the paperwork, I like to add the people first. So you would add your clients down here, add person, and it would be, I'll just use my name. KW. My role, I'm going to be the seller. Add person. So it also gives you an option to add to my team. You wouldn't add any of your clients to your team because once you add them to the team, they have access to anything in the loop. So I keep it separate. I wouldn't add anyone. But if you're working, like say you have an admin, then you would add them to the team so then they could have access.
Okay.
You really just need the email. If you want, you can fill in all this information, but to send documents and for them to fill and sign them, they just you just need their email.
Okay.
So I'll just do add person. And then I'll go into the documents. I'm going to fill out. Open. So this is like an autofill. So I would just do seller. Seller's automatically going to come up. So it's going to put me in there. So another, where we just were with adding the contacts, if you wanted to add their address, it obviously would autofill it. So that would be easier. If not, it's totally fine. So I'm just going to autofill me. So this is the COVID waiver. So this one has to be filled out with a date. So I'll do today's date, November. And this would be for property 123 Main Street, Fort Lee. And then the seller has to sign it. So I'll just say I'm the seller. Sign field, and you would assign it to the seller. So me.
Okay.
So next page, sight unseen. This one doesn't have to be filled out right now. So we'll go to, this is a dual agency. Property address 123 Main Street, Fort Lee. So we'll say you're the agent for this one, so Brian. On all these boxes in order for it to be good to go.
Okay. Too bad those don't autofill.
I know. It's good. So it already put me as the seller. Your signature would go here, but since I didn't add you to the loop, or if you were in your loop doing this, your name would automatically come up. So you would
Okay.
sign here, client would sign here. Next one is lead paint. So it auto-filled my signatures. Auto-filled the address. Signature, you would sign here. So the client does have to check something off here. So if they have no knowledge of lead paint, they would have to check off this one, and they would have to check off this one.
What would they have to do if they did know that there was lead paint? Like if they had to check that things?
So then they would say known lead paint, the first one.
Right.
And it says they would have to explain, so they'd have to type something here.
But there's no additional form or anything or document that we have to
No.
attach? Okay.
Just this form. This is really important. If the house was built, I think it's before 1980, they have to sign this, and it's like a big fine. I think it's like 10,000 or something crazy. If you don't have it, if you listed it without a lead paint, it's a big fine if they find out. So make sure that your clients always sign this if it applies. Then we also have a form that says no lead paint, which you just signed. So it just is signing off saying that there's no lead paint, like it was built after 1978.
Okay.
Next form is the consumer information statement. This one you would write your name. Oh, Keller Williams. Okay. And then you would check off one of these boxes that applies. So you're either the seller's agent only or seller's agent and disclosed dual agent if the opportunity arises. Client would sign here, but either seller or landlord.
Okay.
Next one is this is the listing agreement. So this one should be filled out pretty much all of it. So I'll just do the general info, Fort Lee.
This is basically the same thing that's like on NJMLS, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So this is like what you would bring to your client for them to sign or send it to them on Dotloop. But when you're filling it in on the MLS, it looks exactly like this.
So for us, like all of this stuff, we would do this first.
Yep.
So that it can get signed off and then it gets put in the NJMLS.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'd have to manually enter it in the MLS. It doesn't like pull from here.
Right. But it's good to go because it's signed off on our end to do it.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So it has to be signed by your clients, you, and then the broker.
All right. Because the training on NJMLS, like it goes through all of this stuff, but I know we have to get it signed off. So it's kind of like if I do it through the NJMLS, I'm pretty sure that my broker doesn't see it to sign off on it. So
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, this is why we put him in Dotloop. So it's easy. We share it with him and then he sees it and then we're good to go.
We're good to go. Perfect.
So just the general listing date, expiration date should have it. You would put the owners, oh, I'm the owner in this sense, so that. You would fill in all like the listing broker ID, which is our broker number on MLS, which is 2800. Your number, I'm just gonna make it up, 102-875. Okay. Seller's agent, yes. Transaction broker, no. Comp BA, buyer's agent. This is the commission you're giving out to the buyer's agent.
So it's like 2.5 or 3, was it minus 250 or plus 250?
Yep, so you can do, so say the total commission that you get from the client is 5%, you can give out 2.5. In certain towns, there's a form on Dotloop I could, that we make you sign when you join the company, and there's a certain amount of towns. I think it's like more Upper Bergen County, like Ridgewood area, like over there, where you have to give out 2.5% to the buy side.
Okay.
But if it's like Fort Lee, like Edgewater, I think you can give out 2%. But we'll just use 2.5%. And then also the standard is 250.
Mhm.
So I've seen 300 on higher listings, or you can do 200. It's really up to you. But 250 is like the standard.
What determines that? Like, how do you determine that figure?
I would say on a listing that's maybe on the higher end, I would probably go for 300 because that's your marketing money that they're paying you back. So that's towards like any flyers you do for the home. If you do a broker open, you spend a couple $100, like it's just you getting that back from the agent. It's going towards that, they say.
I see. I thought that was like some percentage or value that's calculated somehow, because we know that the number is there, but I never knew what it was.
Yeah, that's what they say. It's like the marketing, like.
Oh, okay.
So I would do 250 depending on the price of the house. So if it's like a $400,000, I would probably do 250 on that.
Okay.
Maybe 0 and 0 for that. So you'd fill in as much information as you could in order to like bring it to your client. So you put in how many rooms are in the house, how many bedrooms, full bath, if you know the style, all of this information. The price here, so we'll do 450. Date. Compensation, so this would be the total, so 5% would go here.
Would the possession date always be the date that you're doing this document for, or in that particular paragraph, consideration for?
I believe so. Honestly, that would be like another broker question. I do like the paperwork for the agents, but things like this, that was like, I would ask Edward for that.
Okay.
Or even your coach is Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would know more on that. Same with this too. So in the event that the property or any part of it becomes subject to written or other agreement, transferred within. I've seen on MLS 90 days. I've seen 60 days. I've seen flexible.
Oh.
That you can ask Rick too, like what you would put there for your listing. I'll just write flexible for now. And then signatures. So sales associate is you.
Mhm.
Broker manager, this is where Edward would sign. And then owner signature.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. It's very slow.
That's all right.
Let me save it, make sure. Okay. So that's the first page of the listing agreement. The second page is the attorney general. And then this is the commission agreement. So same kind of. This is just the commission you're giving out, so 2.5% minus 250. Same, you sign, seller, broker, and then you're good to go. So I'm going to save this. Go back. And there's also the seller's disclosure, which you don't have to have signed before you list it on the MLS. Agents will usually give it to their clients and have them fill it out, and then they'll get it back because it's like a big document. Not everyone knows like the answers to all of this. It's more about like the house facts, like the roof and all that. So agents will just like kind of leave this with them, and then they'll get it afterwards.
Once we get it, we send it, then we send it back in.
Once you get it, so for the seller's disclosure and the lead paint, I would add it onto the MLS. So there's an option when you list something on the MLS, there's like a document section. You can upload any document. So you would upload the COVID waiver now. They're wanting that. You can upload the lead paint and then upload the seller's disclosure.
Okay.
Because the other agent who's showing it will want to see that stuff. Like they'll need to sign the seller, the COVID waiver anyway. So it's just easier. They can grab it from there and then give it to their client to sign before viewing the house.
Right.
Same for the seller's disclosure. They might want to see that information just to see the house facts before making an offer.
Right, of course.
And then same for the lead paint too. They'll need to sign off on that. So we filled in most of this. So let me get rid of this stuff first. Okay. So I filled in all this information. So you say you're done and you call your client. You said, I'm done with the paperwork. I'm going to send it over now. Review it. Let me know if you have any questions. If you're all good to go, then they could go ahead and sign it. So I'm going to check all. I'm going to do share. So I'm the seller. Their information would be here. This says that I have 10 fields assigned. You can either do view only, which they can't do anything with it, or you can do can sign. You wouldn't want to do can fill and sign because then they can change like the price or they can do things on the sheet. So I would just keep it as can sign.
Gotcha.
You can attach it as a PDF as well. And then you can just write a message saying, hi, Alicia, listing documents attached. Let me know if you have any questions.
And also this needs to be signed and turned in within 24 hours.
Yeah.
So hurry up.
Yeah, you could write that too. Some of them take a while, so you can kind of push it. And you can also reshare it you can like keep sending them like reminders so they'll get more emails on it. So I'll do can sign, please share. And then done. So now it'll say waiting on others. So in my email, like this is from their end, they'll get an email that says like, please review, and they can view all documents. So then they can go into the loop. They'll need to make like a free account. So it's not going to show me on here because I already have an account, but once they click view all documents, it'll bring them to Dotloop and it'll say create a free account, and they'll just put their email in and then they'll be able to sign it.
As they sign, will that change from waiting on other, like, can I check the status of it to see that they've gone through all these things?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll show you right now. Someone else just is joining now. I don't know who that is. Hello. Okay. So yes, you could see if they viewed it where it says waiting on others. It'll say like Alicia viewed but did not sign.
Okay.
And then once they're signed, it'll say completed. It'll say signed on this side. Where it says not submitted, it'll say signed. You can also do activity log. So you can see like if when they viewed the document, like this is all like the back end stuff. So you could see if they viewed the document, if they've archived something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's good, useful. And then also before when I was adding the people, so if it's a husband and wife, they have to have separate emails. So you can't have the same email for two people.
Because they both have to sign.
Yeah, they both have to sign, so they have to have a different email. So if you weren't getting any documents from the template, you could also browse, which would be your desktop. So say you downloaded these, sent it to your client on email, they signed it, and then they sent it back to you as a PDF. You can just upload it from browse. And then also you could do email, which is a lot easier than downloading. So let me download something right now and I'll show you what I mean. So say you get like something from the attorney, like once you're in contract, they'll send you like an email, like a PDF. Instead of downloading it, it's easier to email it to Dotloop because each loop has their own like email address, which is like this long thing. So you can just copy to clipboard. I'm just gonna add this in here. So that's the loop email, and then I'm just gonna send to the loop.
Wow, okay.
Takes a second, so you'll just refresh. Takes a second. Okay, now it's here. So it says PDF. So this was sent from the email. It's
Okay.
easier than just like downloading and having so much junk on your computer.
Right.
So I would just add it from there. What else? They also can write notes on the documents and you'll be able to see it from here. Like you have 0 notes for these. But if they write something like, please change price to 500,000, that they'll write a note and you can change it.
Okay.
What else? Buyer side documents. So that's where you would add any contracts, change of status. So if you're changing the price or if you're changing the commission or changing something on the MLS, you need a withdrawal form, which you can find in miscellaneous documents, transaction forms. So change of status would go here. So same thing, you would fill it in.
Okay.
And then just share it. And this one has to be signed off by the broker as well before changing it on the MLS. So you can change the price, the expiration date, the commission, anything.
Interesting.
What else? Let's see. So this is like the back end as well. So if you click on the address on top, it'll bring you in here. You can add more information. You can add like financials, the contract date, offer date. There's a referral on it, bunch of stuff. Information about the property. You can add all that information here. It's not required, but it's just the more info. It's your filing cabinet.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's definitely helpful. So,
Yeah.
if you have to revisit it, you have all the answers there.
Yeah, exactly. And then also local service providers. So you can add like if you're working with one of our vendors in the office, you can just add them here.
Okay.
So like Scott Leaf, we have to update this because this is not updated with our vendors that are in the office. So our Atlantic is either Adam Roberts or George Weiner. So we would add them here. And then Bond Street would be Everett or Alex Peralta. So you just add them to the loop. I don't know if they're going to get any information if we add them. Oh, you can request info, actually.
Okay.
That's easy. So say your client signs this and you are ready to list it on the MLS, but you need to get it signed by the broker first. You would do submit for review, which is on top here.
Okay.
Make sure you have all that information. And then it's going to help make you choose what folder. So we put documents and listing seller documents. So I'm going to do submit. And then it's submitted to the broker. So the only reason why it looks like this on here is because I'm considered like the broker, the admin, because I get all the documents. So
Right.
yours wouldn't look like this. It wouldn't have like you have 7 documents. This is just for me to review and then sign off for the broker. And then once he signs, you'll get like a notification and then you're good to go. You're able to upload it to the MLS and list it.
Nice. That's broken down pretty easy.
Yeah. Do you have any loops? Have you played around with it? Because that's really how I learned. I just played around with it, pulled documents just to get familiar with it.
Yeah, I was when I first got on the Dotloop.
Yeah.
I have used Dotloop in the past, but not like extensively. So like I know that I can sign stuff. And actually, when you guys sent me like my onboarding, that was
Yeah.
Dotloop. So yeah, so I just kind of like putzed around with it. But it's good to know like where to look. It just makes it more streamlined.
Yeah. So then also like, let's go back to the home screen. So I have a lot of loops because I have admin access. So I see everyone's loops that in the office, so whoever creates one, I have access to it. So this would be all the loops. So say you have these many loops. You can also do it as a different, like I have it as this, but you can also do it as like a tile, a grid view.
Okay.
So you like, it's really your
Yeah.
preference. This is actually a little neater. So
Yeah, I like that.
so that's
actually.
the same thing. So if you had a photo, all the photos would come up here. No one really adds photos, but you could just, if you're anal like that, you could just add the photos. So it looks nicer. And then compact view, which is really
Spreadsheet-ish.
yeah. No, I like that. We'll just do
Pass.
it. I like the grid view.
Yeah.
So this would be where your loops are. You can search for any loop. So 1, 2, 3 main, where we just did. Come up.
You got a lot of 1, 2, 3 mains.
Yeah.
We're all selling the same house.
There's so many. That's usually my go-to. Chris uses that a lot too. I wonder if there actually is a 1, 2, 3 main. I'm not sure. Tasks and then people, like this would be your contact. So anyone you add into loops, you can find them here. So it'd be all these people that you've added. So it like keeps the whole list of them. And then templates, this is where you can find all documents. So if you were going on an appointment and you didn't start a loop, you can just go into the templates and just pull the documents to print them instead of creating a loop. You can pull any documents here. So they're broken down by section. So COVID, like we went over before, the COVID waivers are in here. I'm actually going to move them into the listing folder because this is like required. Like you can't list it without this now.
Is there anything changing? I thought I saw something in New Jersey news because of the new COVID stuff that Murphy has, I don't know, put more restriction or executive order or something that's going on. Is that going to impact us?
I have to ask Edward. That might be because I know that he said something on Friday and he changed some stuff. I have to double check with him to see. Because that's good to know. Yeah, I don't know if he changed like open houses, like you're not allowed to, maybe not allowed to have them anymore.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Because it was down to what? It was like basically 2 people in the house at the same time, agent
and the client.
Right. So.
Or they were doing like virtual tours where they would record and then just send to the client.
Right.
I'm not sure. I have to double check with Edward to see. But regardless, this form is very important and we need that. Yeah. So everything's broken down. You'll see here, just go through everything. Rental, residential, condo co-op, townhouse, 2 to 4 family, commercial, and also buyer packet. So this is where you would find the contract, the affiliated business disclosure, all buyer documents here. this.
That's great.
Where else? Tenant lease packet, so the rental applications in here, all that stuff. Miscellaneous transaction form, this is where the change of status, W-9, a referral, if you're doing a referral, this is the referral form in here. We also have KW letterhead, which we put in here for agents to just download, they could use.
Oh, wow.
What else?
Oh, there's exclusive right to sell condo co-op. I was
Yeah,
actually going to ask.
so we do have, that's, that would be under maybe this. No, I don't know where this one is, what this one's for, because it says NYC, because we do
Yeah.
have NYC documents as well. Yeah, this is New York.
Yeah, I don't think we have co-ops in New Jersey yet. That's pretty like.
Yeah, there's some. There's like a big co-op building in Fort Lee, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I forgot the name of it, but it's a big co-op building. There's a couple. And I think Armin and Scott Selleck, they do a lot of co-ops in the office, and they've had classes on it. They're pretty good. His co-ops like require a lot of documents.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, everything's here. Commission bill. So this is what you would fill out when you are closing on a property for Patrick to send, well, not for Patrick, more for the attorneys. They'll need to fill out a commission bill. Move it to the top. No, I don't know what else to show. Oh, you can also do filters. Like I'm just showing you like the cool stuff, I guess. Filters, I have no filters on, but if you had tons of loops like I do, you can filter it by like listings or leases. It'll just pull up whatever tags you put on. So like when you started the loop and you did listing for sale, or you could do listing for lease, and it'll just show whatever filters you put for that. I have hide all archive because I have so many archive loops. I'm like doing so many. If I showed them, it's insane. So I hide them, but yeah, you can filter here. That is pretty much it. Did you have any questions?
No, that's great. That was really helpful because it's like to know that all that stuff is there, but more so where to look to get that stuff, because I mean, you deal with this every day, right?
Mhm.
Like there's a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
especially like just starting out, there's a lot of stuff.
No, I know.
So I'm like a bottom line person, just point, show me where to go, and this is the order, and then we're good to go. So that was really helpful to see all of that too. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. And it's recorded, so it's going to be back on, I think Chris will put on the YouTube or the cloud, I'm not sure. So you can always go back and go through it, and I'm always obviously here to help. So if you have any questions, let me know.
Perfect. Thank you.
Alrighty. And I don't know who is, I don't know who the other person was that joined.
It's Lamont.
Hello.
It's Lamont.
Oh, hi, Lamont. How are you?
I'm fine.
You joined a little late, so I kind of went over everything, but I have it recorded, so I can send you the video when we're done.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
Ready? Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thanks again. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too. Take care.
Bye. Bye.